Good motivation. So practice is the collecting, creating karma. So sometimes, individual practice great, but the community and together is more powerful. So that's why the community collecting karma make the better than individual. So we all the same wishing for benefit of sentient beings. In the difficult, there are many things, but last difficult is your life's end. Sickness and death is the most difficult. At the time, we need something comfortable, satisfied. Your life is many years spend this time now. So something joyful way to moving new place, or new transmission, new attitude. So those kind we bring in our own mentality. Does need to build. So all the practice, contemplation, meditation, recitation, all those excellent, what we call te, sam, kwam sum. The hearing first is important. The hearing teachings put in your mind to think what it is mean, then analyze your practice. The meaning is meditate. Those are very important for a principle to awakening our mind. So Phowa is very unique, very important. This will you can have many beings, or you can see many beings die. Sometimes the big fire. How many beings? How many animals die in the forest? Couple of years ago in Australia, the big fire, they lost hundreds and thousands lives, or maybe some big tsunami hit in the ocean beings outside in the ocean. So many different in the way to opportunity to help. So these days, and also community collecting karma to good happen also large number than before, and bad happen also large number than before. So this kind of practice, and you have always good motivation, then the practice has never failed before, and we do the right things, has not failed in the near future. So they say, this practice is very bad. This way people is very terrible life, and then this practice bring to in the lower rooms. If there's someone can show the proof, then we say, don't do that because it's not useful or no benefit. But it's not happening like this. This is a benefit. This is hundreds and 1,000 years old. It's not only a few years or something. So this is the Phowa. So first we will should meditate. So all the great master, the mind is the unseparable. For example, the Phowa lineage come from the Buddha Amitabha. Remember, Buddha Amitabha to Guru Bema Sambhava, and then a different branch to the up until now. So all those becoming one, you're becoming oneness. Then you have becoming the power. You meditate, your samadhi, all becoming in practice and very well. So meditations gives us also our mind more space to only one thing. And the one thing is this moment and meditate. So impermanent is very powerful. Impermanent is beyond male and female. Impermanent is beyond the rich and poor. Impermanence is spiritual or non-spiritual. Impermanent is equality, all beings. And some sad news you will see the last couple of days, the great Nyingma master reincarnation of the Guru Bema Sambhava. He was 32 years old. He was born 1990 or 91, 90, I think. So then he came to 96 in Nepal I was there received teaching His Holiness Beno Rinpoche. His, cutting hair, all those ceremony by His Holiness Chade Rinpoche. So suddenly he passed away. In the young, 32, in the old, the great master, His Holiness Dodrup Chen Rinpoche passed away. Then also the Gilus and Kagyu Lamas and Nyingmas and Thich Nhat Hanh, and those spiritual, non-spiritual, Hollywood, all may be homeless, all kind of people die. So die is a different way to die. As long as life is a useful way. That's why we meditate, bring this moment, I need to become one of those in the glorious beings. Our mind is so much wandering. That's didn't give peace in the nature. Peace not bring it outside. Peace within us. But we need to recognize that with us. So that is the way, just 5 minutes or 3 minutes, please meditate. When you meditate, not use prayer will or prayer beads, just be comfortable your physically body and the most comfortable in your mind. Please begin now. Okay, everyone, now please begin prayer book. If you don't have prayer book, we can share here. The beginning. English, Pablo.
All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Yedam jingura je lazo nam loi jab zui je wai sanje janden de nam loi jab zui je dambe je nam loi jab zui je wa bhagya ginde nam loi jab zui je wa gandro je jan some so ishe ge jandan de ba nam Yo su ji wo chen jian zawa dan jubara jebe pande lama dhambo namlo jaso jewo yidam jingoro je lazo namlo jaso Sanje jamden de namlo jaso jewo nambe jo namlo jaso jewo pawe gende namlo jaso jewo Phowa Kancho Chujun Sume So Yishige Chandan Dhampa Nam Kyosu Je.
We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Chanjo sembe labo la de darim jeneba Dishin rola bendun de chanjo semne jinje shin dishin tunen lava rimba shindo lava ranji chanjo nyingbo juje bro sanje namla japso Chuda chanju semba ye tsolong de shin japso che che dara nganje de chanju turne dewa na chanju sembe lava la de darim shin bara de shin rola bende de chanju semne jinje shin de shin turne lava Rimbo Shindo Labaranje.
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhichitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Dola Benja Sanje Doba Shu Sanje Chudo Soje Chonam Lo Chanchu Pardo Dani Josu Dage Jinso Jive Sonam Jin Dola Benja Sanje Anju Bora Shu.
In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Tanyum lo ne vara juro je mo nang ka da nyam be sem je dam je de wo dang de ve ju da ndam vara juro je dung e da dung e ge ju da de dung e ma va da wa da me de vara ju je ni re cha da ni dan de Tanyum la ne vara juro je.
May all mother sentient beings boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Continue this silent prayer, the only English.
I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathagatas in the 10 directions. Those who have already reached the Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagatas still to come. Through the power of Samantabhadra's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless bodhisattvas. Thus, all space is filled with Buddhas and bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through magnificent chanting, expressing the great ocean of their excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands, music, anointing oils, magnificent light, and fragrant incense. I make offerings to them of fine garments, perfume, and potpourri, piled high as Mount Meru and arranged in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I prostrate to the Buddhas and make offerings to them, following the deeds of the great Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have done due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions, of the great Bodhisattvas and Pratyekya Buddhas, those who have attained arhatship, those who have entered the path to arhatship, and all other beings. I request all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest wheel of Dharma, the light that dispels the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leads them gradually to the enlightened state. I request those Buddhas intending to pass into paranirvana to live long for as many eons as there are atoms on the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Unequaled refuge, ornament of the world, your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Jigten Sumgun. Continually, I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings, dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I realize the unelaborated nature of mind.
So now we have the two different sadhanas. Most parts we do the long sadhana, and also we have the little bit short sadhana, the same meaning in the practice. The short one is they take out the history, detailed letters. So always something we need three things. Vajrayana practice, especially the belongs to the Yidam deity practice, empowerment, transmission, and teachings. Here, if the people is first time in Phowa, I will offer to the transmission. So anybody say this is your first time, and can you show me your hand? And okay, this page. Okay, the large groups. All right, most you have. So now first I will happy to give you the transmission. This way we're comfortable. Transmission, I will the long sadhana. They're not missing anything, and then the short ones I will give you also that way. And you need to just relax and sit back. I will drive you. Like, I'm your Uber driver, like I will just read, continue transmission. And also we do this for our practice. If someone new, usually we do this twice a month, usually full moon and new moon. And it's a very wonderful way to benefit. We have some each time, let bit got some more experience, something like that. So that is where now we see this important teachings in a retreat. So tonight is the retreat begin, and then the tomorrow, day after tomorrow, 10 to 12, 2 to 5. So retreat is the beginning morning, beginning is need to slowly and clear information, and also needed to not to rush. When you rush things, and then your retreat is not focused. You're thinking million things. I need to go here, go there, or I cannot miss in that. So you knew you have many BGs. BGs never end, but you have choice to join here large group to the Phowa practice. I appreciate it. So I try my best. So now transmission part and begin now. 다소 건데 던절로 조선도 진절로 조람도 버진절로 람조바서 버진절로 조와 이주스 잡을 진절로도 소 알라 노와지와로 노르제가 더와던지 집에 모두 조와서 모든지 저 뭐는 거 돈이 무슨 저도 저도 동에도를 니도 너무 뭐야 너무 저도 뭐저도 그러자 이래는 근데 저 자만이 바로 동에 저기 바로 그 뭐지 바로 동에 저기 바로 그 되는 소리 님은 사도 저기 바로 동에 저기 바로 그 그래도 아니면서 네 저도 지금 어떤지 무슨도 이들을 덤지는 거 지금 이제 모두는 저저 지나고 있는 지금도 전전도 돈저 보는 뭐 저도 저 이거 저도 저도 아니는데 저도 배주는 저도 저 보고 되는 저도 저 보고 건지고 이제그 전돈돈 보는 거 저도 저 선제 저도 전로 저도 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 그냥 선제로 버려줘 뭐는 거 무슨 이제 보다 배주는 거 버려줘 동에 이제 저 받아 매도 이제 전이다 the shorter sadhana, they don't have the water sadhana. The long, we use the Phowa, they have the add the water sadhana. So I will with the water sadhana transmission here now. 샵지 태원래 돈다니 지 자원의 유대는 유도도 그렇고 따라보도 지메도는 시도도 바라죠 엄마도 서로도 많이 오는 거는 뭐 그런 거 뭐도 왜면 뭐 어너로도 뭐 소소는 그런 거 소가면서 좀 들으시고 그러고 하하하 호봉은 저거 오소마에서도 도서 뭐뭐 다는 게 거기도 그래서 좀지도 제대로 주기대로 가지고 달라 팀베 지바 정보라 주하게 만드는 도서 말이는 도와주면 티살고 파쇼 This is the golden lineage prayer or golden lineage transmission. Namo Guru Ragazavara Bodhichitta Dudunja Veri Rudra Jukuzanga Jakajana Ravasavana Tajishina Chagaji Satsama Vatatavam Jishimala Chagaji Takasayangamo Savandu Tajishina Najamaya Chanda Jala Nivajiri Sangajata Kasayakaja Sudala Savandu Tajishina Nimita Bhavanja Sajaya Jisada Jayana Tajira Bala Savandu Tajishina Toji Chimanam Radagava Ninde Ravasana Sara Hai Jisanda Jala Savana Tajishina Pemenam Ratari Jibadan Tajina Juji Jamyanam to Ranji Jogi, Javani, Tembening bottom son, Jadon, Boston, Nelo, Regiment, Children don't to the engine, knowledge of the Lord, Tangi Sazamin to Juju, Dugonomi, Jungo, and the country of all the Chileshi, but it's in Language of the Sabsan Judgment of the Joson, the Dom Bajavar, and the Jewish Donaldson, the Rari Jimmy Jugan and Gola Gamar, and the Logan Michigan, the Junior Duran, the Chinos, I don't know the one. Jimmy was a Jimolo and among the Jisbon when you put the children of the Junior and Jones, you look at changing the Jury, some of the Son of the Ginger, the Jewish as I wanted to live on the Pondo, you did to the image of the which is one of the Cherokee, she's a consider. She did the Roman of Georgia, and she was on the Junior. So made in the children, the Disney Roman, Phowa Juson, the Wojan, the Solomon was the Version, Tawson, then it's the Vajan Version of Sanjo, Melatonin, Solomon, the Vajan. So many Vajinos, the Solomon, the Solomon, the Sanji, Sanji, the Solomon, so many Madison, the Solomon, the Sanjay Jizan, Pinjora, no one is on Sanjay, the Shira was one of the Sanjay, Pinjor, and one of Solomon. The son of Sanjay, when you hear the Molos, one of Solomon, the one of Sanjay. Pinjor didn't know the one of Solomon, the watch Sanjay, and the Judge, and the one of Solomon, the Chowtabe General Zone Solomon, the was on the Jizun Damato, the Zone Solomon, the was on Jengarjation, Zone Solomon, the was on the Trijan Ludu, General Zone Solomon, the was on the Trijan, and Jedabas, Zone Solomon. Zanje Gunjo, the animal Zone Solomon, the was on the Ludu, John, the was on the Ujinun, the was on the Jitungunja Shinjala Sovande, Solomon, the was on the Dinze Chi, the was on the Sanji, to the sugar, the was on the Solomon, the was Dinze Shinjala Zone, Solomon, the was Sanji, the Lama so on the Solomon, the Brazilian, the Brazilian, the Sudan, the was Sanji, over Melo Chatelo. Jigden was met the Jamala, the Chatelo, Omnamo Bangawadi, Abarim, the Ayunjan, Sumbinachi, the Nurana, some the Bunima, never the Bunajans, the Umros, and the Mandega, some of the morning. Pariwari so Omamaran the winter so Gavandi, you the Tommy, we had to be into what you might so long over a show, the gentleman shows on the when you see a toll and over Jivan. Kone Kondo Paper show, Lamagum, Zono, the Lama, and Bebo, that you might do something. Give on the Damjer of the Sun was a new Visual to Jimmy, the Visual to the Visual, Chidon was more on the version of the so what you give the 1,000 million on the 나신드는 저기마다 제가신 뭐 저거 저기라는 저는 되거든. 오늘 저주 선제 상승 문제 그면 버리는 때도 근데 아무도 안 해서 좀전을 마지막 기간이 고뇌 건도 베바라쇼. Thank you. Now I just completely finished the transmission, the long transmission part. So now there's the retreat. Usually, if you're 1 day or maybe 1 week, sometimes we call the Tunshil and the 4 sessions, sometimes the 6 sessions, and also the 6 sessions, including in night. So so regular we retreat teachings, things like that. I think morning begin 10 to 12, I think it's all right. And then maybe the afternoon session, we have some tea break, some question and answers, make sure the retreat always needed to relaxing and clear visualization, focus of the teaching and meditate. But that is very important in many numbers, recitation or how quick, those are not important. So how clear the recitation, how clear in meditate, that's the bring to in, so they become successful the practitioners. So, so just like we just begin, So now other texts, the short one, and the some cut the Vajrasadhavas, some supplication in different texts. This will maybe a little bit shorter. So this we use this one's more practical. And then we explain tonight also in some tomorrow morning where they came from texts and things like that. So, so this is short. I think the so the short one is you can share now, and then everyone you can download. She will share you in the chat, maybe already there. So there are, see the 4 categories. The first, the golden garland of the lineage holders. The second, the calling the guru from the afar, as we all did the transmission. But when the practice time, we just clear slowly with the tunes. And the transmissions looks very fast. Can you hear much? And the third is the Phowa lineage prayer and Phowa of the luminosity and things like that. So that's the collected to becoming the short one, wrote by, you can see His Holiness signature and those here. So here, as I did the golden lineage long supplication, here is page 5 and 2. Yeah, this one is this one. 5 to 14. That's the short lineage. So we will go here first. I will give you this text also transmission. Can you share the screen? People can see. Some people, everyone download yet or not? I think maybe not everyone. So maybe share is better. So then I can read slowly. Sending Duba Shupsos. Namo Guru Rigun, Namo Guru Rida, Dorjijan, the Delusha, Kajan, the Jumawada, Shabatu, Yaman, Kabusha, so on the Juchangelo, Padu Dojin, Nilsum Jingu, Kinji to the Sonam Tabe, Jenga, Tanjung Doji Tabe, so on the Juchangelo. Jensengi, Samje Tabe, Dojiran, Doji, Jenga, Chuja, Tundu, so on the Juchangelo. Da bo wang da ren je be sang dang ren je xue je yan wa gong ge zhen ren je pun zo ren je nam je so so wang de zo da ju jin je lo ben jian su je chou le nam je dang xue je pun zo da xi pun zo dang gun zhe ren je xue je da gui zhe so wang de zo da ju jin je lo tin le sang bo tun zhe zhe ge je din zhen dun dun xue ge ni ma dang be me jin zhe xue ge jin zhe zhou so wang de zo da ju jin je lo Chuni no ro doji nima je juju lo doji we lo do dang tenzi chu jin jung ne sen jen la so wang do zo da ju jin je lo. Ren wang jir za we la me shou ngu zhu chu zo yi dem jing gu zo par je gu se tam je jia zo la so wang do zo da ju jin je lo. Te tre ge ju yi shi no wo la ge we son do ge wa de zon de da so le jin zhu wa ma lo. Chodun zhubo zendo zhubjuru je, kiawa gundo yanda lama dang, zheme shi je gala long, zhe sada lam je yanda rab, dorje jange gomba nyuru doi sho. That next one is the calling the Lama. Lama jeno. Pande lama gushi wanje tabo ga jiyong ge dojin dewe de bodam velom do dojin ada jiwe je de gwadin da de do bodam me dorji jang gumonde unga jimbo jeno so wando zo doji zo ji jin yolo jing aru nam ni da doji do nyen do don de wo zo je ujin be mo jono lo so de. Now this part I'll finish the other text also not missing and then go down. Was there any new items? Okay, this is the power of the luminosity, the Dharmakaya. This one is not other text. Wobe Bamundu Shalon, the Bunyan, the Sundar, and Jeda, Gajiyam, and Jivala, Chunjik Dinji, Jazumbo, Chujin Jazu, Yaramola, Galo Dejan, or Mendoza. Troll Dune, Devora Donzana, Ningo, Zumja Zumbo, Ningdon Rajado, Galo Dejan, or Mendoza. Lun Jungshi La, Targu Jungzana, Jushi, the Bazaya, Zumbo Dara, Lonzo Donga, Medola, Galo Dejan, or Mendoza. Nor San in Zeva Donzana, Senada, Duzoja, Zumboda, Senor Zaga, Sevala, Galo Dejan, or Mendoza. Jiji Dunga Donzana, Dumlami, Diji, Zumboda, Jidu Sive, Kolola, Galo Dejan, or Mendoza. Hachanju Zunje Dumbola, Duje Chori Janzumbo, Yumi Digbe Jobola, Gala de Jendo Gurmedo, Samjin Pamarashi Zana, Rachinje Jendo Janzumbo, Quesodoran Doje, Teguala, Gala de Jendo Gurmedo, Legion Delang, Shijazana, Chucharmi, Kandaya Zumbo. Luxarmeji Nanga Dongbala Gala de Jendo Gormendo so Yamchilap Dandembe Lamala, Du Parjeda, Kusanya Zumboda, Tsigun Dambala, Gala de Jendo Gormendo Ransamwando Jurdana, Ramazunya Zumbruda, Rando de Bengala, Gala de Jendo Gormendo so Nede Jadanga Dudu, Pajigurduami. Tamjemeda Jivala Jajim, Ajiranje, Rasam Jena Lame, Togara. Then the Bezo, the Mezo, Molo, the Medo, the Rono, the Sonja, Malaja, the Namabanga, Abadameda, and the Manager, the Langa, or the Moda, the Benamabane, Abadameda, Yonosomboro, to do Umsurosum, Gorabari, Judy, the Madinga, Sangari, Sombo, Judemon, Abari, Soha, Omaran, the Winda, so Gavandi, Nidura, Savami, Dr. Yamalu. And there's a long Varai show. So now complete finish the transmission also. So now Sangjin Tibet so they are the great the Vajrayana or secret path always needed to tell the story where they come from, how to help, when happen, those is the question we needed. So that's where there are two different ways to explain the Phowa came from. If there are some new people, that's where we need to look at beginning to clear way to. And most in Namaji need familiar, they explain, you are already familiar. So the Phowa, the 7th century or 8th century, Dharma King Chesun Dezen in Tibet. Dharma King Chesun Dezen is the manifestation in the Manjushri, and he is the one of the bring the most scholar and most powerful practitioner from India to Tibet. First, he wanted to build monastery to wishing fulfill to land in the snow or land the Himalayan. So he inviting the great Pandita scholar Shandarakshita. So Shandarakshita give teachings, and one of these days, His Holiness Dalai Lama always encourage, because he's inspired. Say you have your own language in Tibet. They have language, writing, reading. So this way you are completely translated to Sanskrit to Tibetan. So now for us in Tibetan, all the three yanas, Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, all the texts completely in the translate in the earliest one, So that's why we have the richness, cultural and blessed by those Dharma kings, So King Chesun is inviting Shandarakshita. The Shandarakshita inspired to the king, so you can send other learning, but he can teach all the Sanskrit and things like that. So that during the time, the kings, one of the ministers, and they are treasure for their family happened when the two family house and say in the state, and the summer house and the winter house are similar. So he just going the other room, picking something. So during the time in the church, or the light is with a small spark in the fire and catch the ceiling, and then the house is burned. And there's some horse and mules, and including his parent passed away. So he was so depressed. It used to be in the children can serve to their parents. And I did something, help them, so they know words. he was sorrow very deep. And then he is very important for the kings, one of the minister. And so king tried to give the advice, this is the nature of the emptiness or the impermanent and things like that, but it didn't work that way. We talked something, but your own family situation does not easy to suitable. So the king went to this Chimbu during the time Guru Bama Sambhava orally came in the retreat. He report telling the situation, what happened. Can you please help in my minister? He is very loyalty in the kingdom in all the peoples through the pure heart. So now, unfortunately, this kind of circumstance situation. Can you please help? So then in Guru Bama Sambhava, they connected these teachings only given by the Lord Amitabha. So he went early morning meditation state to one and Buddha Pure Land, and the Buddha Amitabha was given to the Guru Bama Sambhava and the minister and the king and so forth. And the many generations, Tibetan called Jikyu, Damba Jikyu means giving teaching just one person, one at a time, one by one, because they don't have the qualified to holdings, Sometimes the gold liquid, you need to a special part in holding, or snow line milk is needed a special part in holding. Not every cup cannot hold. Otherwise, when they give the clear information, so you can practice yourself, and when you end of the life, and you can give such and such. So those Guru Bama Sambhava will give all the information, the prophecies, who's coming next and after this, after and so forth. So then the 300 something years, ministers reincarnation is different place. He was becoming shepherd. He was already a young boy, tremendous love and compassion, always try to protect any beings, not harm directly or indirectly. And then there's some animal will die. He was very suffer. And then there's some Dagas and Daginis, or the giving force say, you don't need suffer. You have the very special connected, this Phowa teaching. So then he went to the Taglakambu hill near the lake, the Naga holding. The Guru Bama Sambhava said, you need holding this one. Those called the treasure. Treasure is many places, some in the water, ocean, lake, the waterproof silks and many things, and then holding the Nagas, or by space or mountain, many places. So this came from the lake. And the first teaching also give the Naga, and the Naga is a lot of benefit. So then there's a continue came to the this lineage, and then this lineage is very successful. This Phowa lineage, and now in Tibet there is a Drikung Phowa Chimo, the great Drikung Phowa. Actually, we're just talking about this came from the Guru Bama Sambhava received Amitabha, and then many generations, many teachings took him our. So this is the one of the lineage. Then also they see the Dharmakaya Phowa teachings, Lord Jigin Somgun's, one of his students. When he, so some people here knew this. I'm telling the story. And if you're a senior student, thought, oh, he will talk this many times. I'm boring. I need to go sleep. So I need to repeat again. So there's the you can see the text. I think it's very powerful. Can you share the text? I will maybe go a little bit word. So Lord Jigden Somgon's age 74, around that, near there, his attendant thought, one of my lamas, my parinirvana passed away, I will build commemorable the golden stupa. And those tradition, there are lamas commemorable stupas, and he collected all the gold and keep. And then one day, the Jigden Somgon said, I give the teachings, many things. So today, we want to go, what they call Denchak, during the time called Tutu in cemetery, and then he brings some practice the meditators, live for rest of life and meditate, and some, and take care of the monastery things. Even though one, the tea master, we call Chama Po Dashis. Po means looks like grandpa, looks like it's not he don't have the son, but he's better than say old man Tashi, you will say like grandpa, or father. So anyway, he's the tea master, and Lord Jigten will say, you also come, he cannot do much. He is making serve the tea in the monastery, in the community, but his devotion, his practice, the same is equal the other practice for retreat. There's a clear the Milarepa said, Rila Gombe Gom Chandang, Chowa Jorwe Yondani, Sanyambur Jave, Dende Yinibungawayins. Great Yogi Milarepa said, person who retreat in mountain yogis or yoginis and someone sponsor for food and clothing and farmers or nomad, they equally benefit, because without those food and clothes and the yogis cannot survive life, because they not need chasing the food, they only concentrate the practice, and the dedication makes a difference. They share, what are you going to call 50-50, practice live the mountain, he got 50 people who sponsor directly or indirectly. So that kind the benefit. So the tea master, so story is a tea master is not retreat, he was take care of the tea. And so now in the early morning, sunrise in East Mountain, and then the Lord Jigten said, now can you show me what do you have the achievement? And then the yogis and the yoginis just walking in the space or lay down in the space. They're showing, because your body, mind is inseparable, the body, it light any place that you can walk. And someone's going down in the ground, all kind, those are the miracle. Even though the tea master, he also handled his tea letter, right? Letter is hanging in the sun rays. When sun rays come in the morning, he just put one of the sun rays. Do you understand, right? This is what they say, right? Sun rays come, and he's later is put in the sun rays. So then the attendant is a little bit shocked. He got the most teaching, most empowerment, all this, teachings and secret, everything he is to get the most than any other, because he served to his teacher. So he's shocked, and he right away passed away. And then they all together and says, together what we can do, and they try to cremation. The fire cannot catch him. The fire didn't work. And from the Drikung monastery, there are river. And this also going through the Lhasa, called Shoronzangbo. It's a huge river, but it wouldn't put his body and just a circle and circle there. They cannot carry his body. Then the Lord Jigten said, okay, someone carrying his body during the time called cemetery. Cemetery means in people and animal, after death, everybody can body their place, right? In the same here. And then his body there give these teachings. Can you share now a few lines? So this is the way I say, you not need any attachment. Nothing object cannot need any attachment. So, Punyon the son to say, my son means two things, right? Biological son, or the holding his or her teachings. That's called noble son and daughter. So first, the Lord, the Jigten Songgung supplicated to his root teacher in the Lord Pangmutuba, I bow at the feet of glorious Pangmutuba. My son, please hear, please listen the Renchen talk. So Renchen talk is the we're talking, and he passed away. So he's attached to remember, I need to completely and serve my teachers. He's thinking he's younger than his teacher, but he didn't know impermanent, or maybe there's maybe he will just inspire. Without he didn't pass, didn't come this Phowa is possible. Everything's interdependent. So say here, or nothing is of the any us at the time of death. So this means nothing caring for us. This is a big message for us. Right now we focus on many material things in this life. We're not thinking of death, and after death, what are we thinking? What we have belonged? We're not thinking that way. All the energy is focused now, short life. When die, everything's left behind. Then you only caring to create bad karma or good karma. Material is not coming. That is why he say, and the spiritual in the world, worldly undertakings are also just lies. Means the samsaric activity is just lying, it's not real. And somebody put in a mask and then say, oh, this is a king, this is a queen. Actually, the person is not a king or queen. Only they put in the mask. This is telling is different. So he's like, it's not real. It's not real. Then what it looks like? Say here, all things, can your trust be pleased in the eight worldly dharma? It's like rainbow, or mirage, or echo, or dream. They're not needed to any attach, which are like the appearance of the rainbows, sometimes coming shortly and sometimes disappear right away, nothing existent forever. So now here, this telling it more stronger impermanent teachings. 저 눈에 대화 통장나 니니무 동심장 좀부르다 닝담 작졌다고 라깔로되지 누가 민독숨. So now all of us, someday you will just only father, mother, only father, mother, and then you have brothers and sisters, then you have cousins, and then you have, expanded, you have so many things, your relationships, then your own kids, their kids is endless. Those, is nothing, it's helping for us and for long-term benefit. And also those how close, how dear in our heart, they also need to separate. So that's why here say, as you see how friends come together and then separate. That's why always teaching said, our body is like guest house. Consciousness is the guest person. They live any minute or any day. It's not to stay forever. So likewise in here is talking, and affection to compassion in the relatives as the also just lie. Or the relatives and cousins, those just come short time and then separate. Then the next lives, they have no clue. Sometime next life you rebirth in your enemy home because the karmic need to purify, to clean, continue. And you will just, so many hard work. Next life is nothing's near there, And for example, myself, I was born in Tibet and then many years in India, now here in the United States. So we don't know tomorrow where we end. So that's when the life is the meaningful in the lives as long as becoming something useful. And the people give you some advice or say something nice things to you. So that's also like echo. That's where no attachment at the echo. And here's all things, can your trust be pleased? And there are heartfelt in words, which are like the echoes. The echoes, nothing is real, but you will say hello, and they will all reply the hello. It depends. You need try to very nice for him or her, smiling, and then back to you smiling, because it's the interdependent. So nothing that existently always smiling. So nothing, holding to attached object. Next. Lun Jungxin la Targui Jungdana Jushida Bazan Zombo the Lanzu Tonge Medo, Galo de Mendosong. So this also we have the four immeasurables. They are talking about the four seasons. Likewise, sometimes the beautiful flowers bring the spring, warm, green. Summer is more flowers, more radiating. And the fall is the yellow, all the fruit, leaves coming down. Winters, everything's gone, different planet. So likewise, our own life, and called children or childhood, teenagers, teen, youth, middle age, old, and then those the lucky part, you have time to old. Sometime you will die in the mother's womb. Someday you will die in just, birth and death at the same time. Sometimes a few years, sometimes teens, and there's no guarantee. So this means our precious breathing is life or death. You're not breathing means you're dead. So you're breathing, you need to know this is so precious. So here now, everything's separate. And the separate is and the Langzu Tonghe Meadows, some very beautiful young girls or the handsome young boys, it's changing like the fall seasons, flower. And the fall is one night is very cold, the flowers, next day all leaves come down. So here, as for the element, as the body wax and then ones, skill, strength, and the bravery are also just lies. O thing, can you trust, please, in youth, which is like autumn flowers. Norsan and Java Tongdana, Senator to Sojan Zumbuta, Senator Siwala, Kalo Deji Dugur Mendosons. So here say, if you are collecting or you making accumulate financially or any other, that's good, you will use it. But if you didn't use it, there's the seed of the rebirth and the hungry ghosts. Because remember, when you die, you cannot carry anything. But your lifetime, you rich, is nothing wrong because you can share with more people. There are so many needed because now time is your wealth. That's called material wealth. Also the wealth, the most important, the teachings inside people, the life changing, such as the anger person transform the love and compassion. This is very deep, highest noble jewel is giving. Same here. Say Norsan and Java Tongdana, Senada Dusoja Zumboda, Senortagesiwal, Kaladeji Dugur Mendosum. As you see how well is the hearted, hoarded, and the spent mid limit, or say mid limits, and okay, are those accumulation are also just like all thing can your trust. So all those give teaching to the Nyene Renjita or his attendant. Can you go up a little bit more? So we can explanation next few days. Now can you go the bottom part? So anyway, in the end of the teachings, the supplication and introduce for his concentrate. What do you need concentrate this moment? All those just lying, material didn't fulfill in your happiness or joy, just lying, If you are big chunk in gold, looks like you're happy, but now this true results, you fear because somebody you're thinking you have the gold, now somebody will steal, or maybe there's something caused the gold, now there's somebody attacked your life, all kind of things. So this the outside material cannot give you fulfill the jewel or maybe the peace. So now here's the net tenja thingi dudu pu chigurdu medium tamjemeda chewala chashima jerenje the central lame to group. So So display the symmetry. You're not alone by yourself as thinking that way. And your mind is dissolved to the Guru's heart. This impermanent is that every being is like that as a Ranjantar. And you just focus this way, then after that, and he used to pay, Lord Jigden Sung's can, stick or can, touching to the Nyana Ranjita or attendance between the eyebrows. As soon as he said pay, and his whole body is, for example, the big back, maybe 1,000, maybe pound size like fit inside this kind of bag, and the sesame inside. And somebody can cut in the knife, all the sesame is everywhere expand, everywhere, every place. So you cannot pick up the sesame as 1, 2, because there's so much. So this they're collecting to broom, put it together. Likewise, the Lord Jigden Sungos give this beautiful teaching. And the Nyana Ranjita is the melt. Whole body is become the relics. Then is the jewel or holy relics. So that's the collecting to broom, to collecting go ten, chak. Ten means the holy object of relics. Chak means broom and collecting together. So that is where we have two different, the Phowa lineage coming to one. So that's the way when we die with this kind of supplication, prayer, lineage. So the Buddhist tradition, the lineage is very important, but of course you all need to build. But lineage is like this, the mala. So say 108 beads. If you're missing one, and no longer 108 beads. If you're missing two, it's then shorter. Likewise, in the lineage is like the strength or thread. A strong 108 is to stay is possible. If this you will be a tiny one, it's not strong. Any minute and break, all the 108 is then stay together is impossible. This is called unbroken lineage, means continue holding all the 108 beats together. That is all the lineage. There's so many names, supplicate. Those enlightened succeed through this Phowa technique, Then after we along the retreat, and you have opportunity, people you hurt, or maybe sick, people die, or on the way some animal, they die, many things. They exercise, that you can use this Phowa. So this is just to tune out as just base a little bit summarize, and so that's where I can begin. So now we will go the short text one together, once practice together. You can share, and then more details in tomorrow teachings and meditate. This hopefully this helps for you. People who works hospice and hospitals, caregivers. Those practices are very important. So when our bodies, element dissolve, and you cannot communicate, say, oh, I need this and that, but your mentally is so clear, but you can hear, you cannot reply. So those teaching is a connection to the part of teachings and how to dissolve the element. But next 2 days, we have Phowa retreat, and we can see end of the session on Sunday, how much succeed. And we will everybody, good, comfortable. Then we can, part of teachings, I think so, good combination, good next one and together. So of course we next month retreat also, but this also connected, I think very useful. So this I'm just giving transmission and some little bit explanation. So now we will go practice together in this sadhana. Yeah. Namo Guru Rida Doje Janda Dele Jake Jonaro Jura Marbada Sheba Dorje Yamnia Gambo Shabu Sowan Devzo Da Ju Jinjel Pagdu Dorje Jigna Sonje Kenjin Tsudura Sonama Tagbet Jengai Tangjung Dorje Tagbe Shau Sowan Devzo Da Ju Jinjel Renjia Singya Tsamje Tagbe Shau Dorje Renjia Dorje Yewa Jengai Chuje Dundua Jewa Shau Sowan Devzo Da Ju Jinjel Da Guo Wan Da Ren Jin Pe Sang Da Ren Jin Chu Jie Jiang Wai Kun Ge Ren Jin Pun Zo Ren Jin Nam Jie Xiu So Wan De So Da Ju Jin Jie Ban Jin So Jie Chou Le Nam Jie Da Chu Jie Pun Zo Da Xie Pun Zo Kunjo Renjin Chuji Chakwe Shabu Sowa De So Da Ju Chi Tinla Sambo Tunjua Chuji Ji Tinzi Chudo Chuji Nima Peme Jinzi Chugi Jinzi Shabu Sowa De So Da Ju Chinji Chunyin Urwa Tuji Nima Chi Chuji Ludu Shiva Ludu Tenzi Chuji June Zenjin La Sowan Duzo Daju Chinji Rari Ngunjuro Zawe Lame Jo Ngudru Chozo Yidam Jinguro Parje Gunse Tamjin Jazo La Sowan Duzo Daju Chinji Tedara Gaju Yishe Norvo La Krive Sudava Kewa Ndezon Tazo Lujin Dova Malu Chodun Dova Tendera Dogira Ji Kewa Gundu Yanda Lama Demi Chuji Bela Lonjo Sada Landia Yonde Razo Okay, I think there's not much the English to the only this is supplicated, otherwise the same name. I think we will go next one. So this called the calling the Lama. The calling the Lama is in this case, and the practice for Buddhism, we'll call Lama or Guru, actually calling the Lama or calling the Mama. The kids calling and the old is calling the Mama. So likewise, when they needed called mother, so all the kids know the mother they will give whatever they needed. Likewise, here is the calling. They call Tibetan call Lama Kyangbu. So this is the calling is far away, but supplications of power. Everything's coming is near. And the Phowa is also we call Yang Po. Yang is far away, and Phowa, far away Phowa. For example, from Lama who live in the Tibet, we requested for him, and the person who passed away in the New Zealand. So you see, one at the top in the world, one at the bottom of the world. But Phowa can reach within one snap because the supplication is the like sunlight. When the light came, just one time hit, nothing missing. So this kind of lighting power. So that's called the Lama Kyangbu, calling the Lamas. I think most of you know or hear many of the stories. Milare about calling to the Marbas. Yishitsoje calling to the Guru Pema Sambhava, so on and so forth. When they needed something, the successful realization, and sometimes your mind, something temporary in the power of the cities. You thought, oh, now I know this one, now I have feel this one, now I maybe something reaches somewhere. There's sometimes the dangers and the maras may also you're tingling in your body, looks like temporary in power of the psychics. And you're misunderstanding this is the temporary city or this permanent cities, very similar. For example, pure love, compassion, and attachment is very similar, the Lord Gabo said. Likewise, we're calling the Lama is purely we need something, somebody passed away right now. Please, the lineage help the consciousness to guide to the Buddha Pure Land. That is what we call calling the Lamas. Lama can know means please hear, please look open us. Pandan Lama, Kushu Wanju, the Lama's body is there are the four kayas, and the Lama's body is there called the Dharmakaya is his own mind. Nirmanakaya is his body, speech is Sambhogaya, all together, so Vivekaya is fourth. So this with the Pandan Lama, Kushi Wangchu, the whole body, and the ornament in the whole entire Tapogaju lineage. The leader of the sentient beings, showing in the supreme path of the enlightenment. Please kindly, you have the embodiment or represented the Lord Buddha. So you are the water Dara. Please help me open in my Brahma door in the Phowa language. So Brahma door open, then they easy to transform in the consciousness. So something like that. So now we can read together. This tune or the another one. Ande Lama Gushi Wanju Togu Gaju Yongi Zogin Dove Debo Tambe Lamdo Toju Ngada Jive Jeda Gadin Dade Tombandame Doroju Jawa Gumbonde Gumba Jembo Jeno Sovande Zodo Jeseshe Chinji Loje Namni Tada Once English.
Guru, please think of me. Guru, please think of me. Guru, please think of me. Glorious Guru, Lord of the four Kayas, crown jewel of all the Dakpukagyu, guide of beings, you who show the sublime path, master of compassion, regent of the victors, matchless in kindness, unrivaled teacher, Lord Vajradhara, protector, great Drikungpa, please think of me. I pray, please look upon me with compassion. Please bless me and grant the two accomplishments at this very moment. Please grant me the fruition that spontaneously fulfills the two benefits.
Okay. So can you read maybe the English may be too long. See how, yeah, you can maybe this one. Yeah, this one we can read in Tibetan. Then next short one is to read English. So a little more easier. This cannot see there the English part. You guys see the English also? No, only Tibetan, right? Huh?
Yes, it's just Tibetan. Do you want me to switch to the other?
I think maybe you can switch in the English part. That's better. I can read in phonetic also. So this one is, see, usually we will say, Ujin Pema Junelo so on the Salambo Jursinil, Yunumbo Kajan Jursinil, Tasun the Sujima, the Wajin Jursinil, Sanjay Omel Chaselo. Each the lineage we always the four those lines or 4-5 lines. This one is more sort of the directly the short go directly. Supplication is the first one, and then the last one is the supplicated the root lineage, and then you will say supplicate the Salam Phowa Jumbar Chinjilo, Nilumpo Kajundubar Chinjilo, the first one in the end, sort of this text, right? Yes. You can read the phonetic, the English part. So with it in Tibetan. Gwenjo tenle nom je la so wande, Gwenjo tenle sangbo la so wande, tenle dun dua che de la so wande, Gwenjo din din dun dun la so wande, yon din che je jen din la so wande, tenze che je ni ma la so wande, Chakdo be me jin den la so wande, je jin dama don za la so wande, je lo du jin den la so wande, ren je dun be je jin la so wande, gwen jo tu je ni ma la so. Lo du jo wa lo du la so wande, Tenzi chuji lu tu lo so wande, Tenjen tawe lama la so wande, Salom po wan jomba chinji lo, Nyolom po we kaju andu wa chinji lo, Taso dene te wa gyurmanda, Dewa jindu jiwa chinji lo. So now tomorrow, and then we will explain all the consciousness, the channel, color, size in your consciousness, all those. Tonight we will just the prayer for the supplication, and then now the English. Can you please read page the 22? With early, I just explained just a little bit the Phowa of Luminosity, the Dharmakaya. Can you read this from here, the English part?
Phowa of luminosity, the Dharmakaya. I bow at the feet of glorious Pangudrupa. My son, please hear, please listen, Rinchen Dark. Oh, nothing is of any use at the time of death. Spiritual and worldly undertakings are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in the 8 worldly dharmas, which are like appearance of rainbows? As you see how friends come together and then separate, affection for companions and relatives is also just a lie. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in their heartfelt words, which are like echoes? As the 4 elements in the body wax and then wane, skill, strength, and bravery are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in youth, which is like an autumn flower? As you see how wealth is hoarded and then spent, miserliness and arduous accumulation are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in food and wealth, which are like the dew on a blade of grass? As you see the sufferings of birth and death, the joy and happiness of divine and human marketplaces are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in the joy and sufferings that are the wheel of samsaric existence? In regard to the Father, who is the tree of bodhichitta, the partiality of the beings he tames is also just a lie. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in wicked ones, your harmful friends? As you recognize sentient beings as your parents, the heartfelt desire to cherish yourself is also just a lie. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in the hero's vehicles of individual self-liberation? As you develop certainty in the karmic law of cause and result, the Dharma instructions that say there is nothing to do are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in an empty sky without thunder or rain? For a guru who has experience and blessings, mara, obstacles, and going astray are also just lies. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in the stream of words recited by a parrot? As you have actualized your own mind, the notion of the 3 limitless eons is also just a lie. Oh, think, can your trust be placed in the misleading vehicle of provisional meaning? Son, are you not sad to be alone here in this charnel ground accumulation of relics? Since everything is impermanent and everybody dies, do not be too attached, Rinchen Drak. If your mind is very much attached to me, transfer it to your guru's heart. Amitayus, foremost guide of this world, glorious subduer of all untimely death, refuge for helpless, suffering beings, I prostrate to Buddha Amitayus.
So tomorrow we more explain things like that. So now I will give you some opportunity to some questions. I can take some question answer. If you have any thought, so we will need to practice. Always need to make sure and full of doubt and we'll go sleep is nothing meaningful. So even though maybe one clarify and relatively helps others as well.
Lamala,
Yes.
good evening, good to see you.
Good evening.
Barbara from Sunray.
Oh, Sunray.
Good-
Sunrise or sunset?
It's sunset and very cold here, almost below zero.
Oh.
Lama, there's the section where we're going through all those things that are in our lives that are lies. Is that
Yes.
helping us understand the relative and absolute? Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yes, relative to the, we need to take care of parents, friend, the world, country, those important. But this talking is no attachment with a pure heart, and I can do this and then maybe this way and you stuck there. So you need to freely help as much as you can. The Nagarjuna said, the base of the attachment, the anger, desire, ignorance, those base of there, any activities is the seed of samsara. And no attachment, no angers, no desire, any activities is the benefit. So this way, we love our family, and also love is pure, but we not live forever. You thinking forever is lying because you not live forever. So this is the relative to the yes, dearly we care. Absolutely, Pat. What do you say here? You need to take care of your own. So this means we not say you don't love anybody. It's not the case. So they see here say the blue sky and thunderstorm is very powerful. Is the rings come or not? Probably not, because they are need to base the cloud. So then they explain, Usually sentient beings and the gurus and the separate. Some the fully understand the pure love. Every being is becoming your parents. Then they are not extra. Some being is not my parent, is your lying. So this one, it's a very deep message though. Go ahead. Anybody have questions or no questions? Yes.
Yeah, never mind.
I have a question on page 27.
27.
It says, in regard to the Father, who is the tree of bodhichitta, the partiality of the beings he tames is also just a lie.
Yes.
Who is that Father? What does that mean?
The Father is, they say in the compassion, right? The bodhichitta is a compassion. See, and bodhichitta is a compassion means they don't have, this is my, and this is their, but the fully of the bodhichitta for benefit all beings equality. Means they don't have boundaries, this is my, this is yours, because full of the open the bodhichitta, you respect equally all beings, human and animal and insect, everything's the same, they respect. We not say this is my, this is your. So then they don't have this sort of the sect idea, or maybe this is my language or this is your. They don't have divisive things. Everything's becoming boundless. So this called the bodhichitta is like the tree of the bodhi tree or orange tree. The orange tree means only full of the orange, part of there may be peach, part of the apple, maybe it's not coming, they all mixed things. So bodhicittas who are understanding, and he or she can understand all the phenomena. Means you understand the pure emptiness, at the same time you recognize the highest bodhicitta. Sometimes people, bodhicittas come first. Sometimes come understand the emptiness. Emptiness is logically is not difficult, Say, where's Lama Sonam? You're going to say, hey, this is Lama Sonam. And the detail, you're going to say skin, bone, and separate particle say atoms. Which one's the pinpoint? You cannot find it. And you cannot find this nature emptiness. Same time, you have the label, different names. You have the forms called a human being and Lama Sonam. So this is logically easy. But the subtle part is the bodhicitta is more deeper, because the bodhicitta can feel others' sorrow. Emptiness, just logically, everything's becoming emptiness. Just see, where's the Lama Sonam from top to bottom, inside to outside. You cannot find it. You cannot deny it, but somebody is talking for you, That's how it works in the emptiness arising. So the bodhicitta is full of their, you can see His Eminence Guardian Rinpoche. Anybody is talking to him, he will just carefully attention to listen what they wanted, what they say, because his mind thinking anybody is the same equally, Somebody spent time with 20 years or somebody made 20 minutes is no different, because he knew that somebody need to share for him. So his mind is always equally. They know, say, oh, you're my old, you are my new friend, and things like that. They don't have. That is where he duje chogri jamsum bodhamans. Yes.
Thank you, Lama. There is somebody typed a question in the chat. Question says, Lama, when you explained the section of calling the guru from afar, you spoke about the temporary cities and how to differentiate them. Could you please talk a bit about this topic? Thank you so much.
Sure. The Lama calling, and there are, remember, the cities, two different kinds of cities accomplishment. The Tibetan called Tumugi Ngudruk Tang, Chog Ngudruk. The common city or supreme cities. Common cities in the Buddhism or non-Buddhism, both can achieve, succeed. For example, in the Hinduism, they meditate very highly samadhi, and there are many achieved. For example, the heat, the Tumuchandali practice, they also very well, and they will do the hardships, and they will also result in a tremendous benefit. You can see Hindu yogis, they are not eating dinners, they are vegetarians, and they are not attached to the house. Let's go to the fully yogi, just go to day by day, So that's kind of they also achieve the common cities. But the supreme cities, they only become Buddhahood. And the common cities of the people in the West, they're called psychics, if you learn how to read in somebody, that's also the part of this, and now you see people can finding out in the ground, there are some chunk of the oils and minerals. Also, the ordinary people cannot see, but some specialized can see. It's not the supreme, but it's the sort of the common understanding. The common city also, when practice protectors and something, and some things you get. Remember, the 8,000 words perfection wisdom sutra. One the Bodhisattva was chasing or the finding or looking for the great Bodhisattva Chobak, and he was wanted anything he can sacrifice through the Dharma. So then the Indra and Brahma test, and he wanted to really giving his body part to offering to sell. So he giving anything. There are many books, those stories, they're given without attachment. So that's why here, when the bodhicittas come, anything, and the good practitioners ear, somebody say, can you give part of your body? It looks like you hit the jackpot. For us, it's not easy, Can you give me your finger or hand or kidney? Even though you don't need two kidneys, just one's enough. Everybody wants to keep the two kidneys. Somebody needs kidneys. Can you ask? Oh, I wish, but my blood is not matching. Maybe I'm also not so well. It's not easy to give, If you say you have only one heart, you can give heart, then you can say, hey, I need one. But you have the two kidneys. See, of course, the inside is difficult. Even though you're outside, you have maybe two fancy shoes, you can give one. That's difficult, I pay maybe $20 or $50. So anyway, this here, there's related in the common cities. So the common city means everybody can succeed. Supreme cities, only your highest reaching the practitioner, become Bodhisattva, then you can reaching the city or something Hindi called Shaktis, the blessing received directly.
Lama, another question, where does bodhicitta arise from? Does it come from beyond the Dharmakaya, or is it in emptiness? Where does it arise from?
The bodhicitta is, sort of, the Lord Jigten Sungwon said, and you need to, for example, it's some sort of, people in front of you, they got disease, leprosy, they're all the fingers caught up, just everything's blood coming. You can look there, your goosebumps, and you knew as their suffering is tremendous. The moment, you're not thinking anything, but this moment is power. So same as, recognize it's not needed too long to take. Bodhicittas, you will hit point within one snap, 1 second, and this feeling is your heart. You will understand the real others, the consequences. That we heard bodhicitta, we receive the teaching, but not touching the heart. You always need to experience. That is the goal. Without the experience, you fully understand it's difficult. For example, maybe, and you and me, for example, say, most of you have experience in Tibetan momos, right? So you like momo, remember? So do you know how to cook momo? So this is difficult. You know, people know easy to enjoyment, somebody made and you can enjoy. But the same material, can you make for me? The same taste, it's difficult. So that's why only you inside your experience, that's important. Remember, 3 teachers. First teacher is outside, you know, man or woman and somebody outside. Second most important teacher is the Buddha's teaching, pustak or text. Third, you analyze those together practice, then bodhichitta is coming inside. And then go nyingji chamba, the kindness, loving kindness, when you see the very cute young child, you know, the smiling and the small, it's not walking, you look there, you're not tired. But this is, you know, this cute kids maybe become teenagers, it's very difficult to you. You know, it's very cute, it's no longer there. And the cute, you will, I wish I will babysit there, you wish to stay a little longer. This become very naughty, then you're thinking, oh boy, he's calling me. No, you don't want to pick up. So they see how they change. So this way, the 2 places to arising the bodhicittas, how to grow, is the only the suffer. Our dear loved ones may be in the burning in the big fire. You all feel as you also burning. Feel that time bodhicittas arise. The same, the Lord Jigten Sumgong, remember, he was the Ijun Kip in the southwest in Tibet. And the whole town is the infect, like the COVID-19 or the leprosy. Many people cannot go other towns, town locked. And those people, nobody bring in food, and they will just, you know, all the fingers and come out and die. And Lord Jigten Sumgong cannot take any more. So they need deeply prayer, you know, those people's leprosy, everything I will take. I don't want to see those suffering. His bodhicitta is reaching in the heart, and he become the enlightened. And when he opened the eye, he's to see the 7 taras, remember? It's not a long bodhicitta, just within this kind of see the condition, you never forget your mind. Always this bring in your something very powerful.
Lama, there are some questions in the chat.
Yeah.
And one, Lama, I want to ask, if we have so many dear, kind heart guru, like our sweetheart, how do we visualize them as Vajradhara, or as the figure we respect so much as Yidam?
You are yes, or finish, sorry.
It says, is in Drikung Phowa we should be our, is that in Drikung Phowa should be our guru in Drikung lineage?
No necessary, remember? Phowa or any practice, we not say, oh, now you practice, come over, you need to become the Drikung. No. So you are look shopping, you know, you guys shopping right now, which one is more easy to get out in the samsara? You guys shopping, okay? We also sell the Buddhist teachings, which one is the benefit in the market. You know, say Nyingma Gaju Gilu or the Theravada Mahayana. It looks like big market, supermarket. The new practitioners like looking for which one is quick to get without the practice to boom, next day at Rambo body, you know. So this His Holiness Dalai Lama said, looking for quick and sharp and cheap. So anyway, for practice, whatever you have practiced, you know, the personal question, whatever your lineage, and then you can transform. Remember, say, your guru is unseparable Vajradhara or unseparable Samadhabhadra or Guru Pema Sambhava or whoever connection is become one. It's not separate. See, say maybe right now in the 6 or maybe 7 the continent, different mountains, different mineral waters, every different names. All those rivers come to in the Mother Ocean, become one. So this way, your own mind, your own this teacher and this teacher, the practice way become oneness. So this way you can practice this receive, you can practice do this way, also good. And you will receive the other power also, no different. No different, yes.
Okay, thank you, Lama. And one last question from someone else. When we chant the supplication to the lineage masters, do we need to visualize them all above our head or somewhere in space?
10 direction. All the 10 direction, all those glorious, countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and the blessing radiating for you, so and for all sentient beings, yes.
Seems that's it for now. Thank you, Lama.
Okay. So tonight there are some new people will come, and if you have time, next 2 days we can share the Dharma. If you are busy, then also there's no excuse, So you enjoy, you're busy. If you're not busy, we'll come to Dharma. And right now we will dedication and long life prayer. We will not much at the minute. In 8 o'clock, I have another class. So we'll try to short one. Kare rave gove shingamso panda dewa malun jongwen tere senwan dinji jazu shawe side apadu dinjuruji. Dedication. Sonam diye tamje segbani tonam yive danam pamje Jega naji balon truba sibe solen dovara sho jambe bawu chidar chemba tang kundu sangbo tenyang tishin te Teda Gunji Jeso Dalo Je Gewan Deda Damje Rabdongo Dadang Konde Tamjeji Tusumdo Sakba Tang Yuwe Gewe Zawadi Dadang Semjen Tamje Nyurdo Lana Meba Yang Takba Zobe Chanjuk Rumbo Dovara Juruji. Thanks everyone. And you have a wonderful evening.
You too, Lamala.
Okay.
Thank you, Lamala.
Yeah, you too, Lamala.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lama.
Yes.
Thank you, Lamala.
Thank you,
Lamala. Thank you, Lamala.
Thank you.
Gracias, Lama.
Gracias.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Lama.